The breaking point. Captain Maya Chen stood at the transparent viewport of the Galactic Consortium station, watching the swirl of stars and distant nebulae. After 6 years as Earth's representative, she still found the view breathtaking. But today, the beauty couldn't distract her from the knot of tension in her stomach. "They're ready for us," said Commander Eli Jackson, her second in command. His usually relaxed face was drawn tight with concern. "Are we really going through with this?" Maya nodded, straightening her midnight blue uniform with its silver Earth insignia. "We have to. 12 million lives depend on it." The illuminated chamber of the Galactic Consortium was a marvel of alien architecture, a massive dome seemingly constructed of pure light, with 57 platform seats arranged in concentric rings. At the center stood the speaker's podium, currently occupied by High Speaker Zoreth, a tall, willowy viridian with iridescent skin that reflected the chamber's glow. The motion regarding System 4729, designation New Terraform, has been decided, Zoreth announced, voice melodious yet somehow empty of warmth. By a vote of 49-8, the consortium has determined that the anomalous radiation patterns require immediate intervention through Protocol 17. Maya felt her blood run cold. Protocol 17 meant sterilization, the complete elimination of all life forms on a planet's surface through targeted energy bombardment. New Terraform was home to 12 million human colonists. "Speaker Zoreth," Maya called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Earth requests emergency reconsideration. Our scientists have submitted evidence that the radiation anomalies are temporary and pose no threat to neighboring systems." Zoreth's large, faceted eyes blinked slowly. "The evidence was considered, Representative Chen. The decision stands." "You're condemning 12 million humans to death," Maya said, her voice rising, "for a radiation pattern that our data shows will dissipate within 6 months. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. A bulbous Gratianate representative floated forward on its gravity disk. The human data was determined to be optimistic. "Our models suggest a 93% chance of pattern expansion within 2 cycles. "Based on what?" Eli demanded. "We've requested your data models for 3 months and received nothing." "This is a Tier 1 decision," Zoreth replied with the equivalent of a shrug in Viridian body language. "Implementation begins in 30 days. Earth is welcome to evacuate as many colonists as possible before then." Maya felt something break inside her, not in defeat, but in clarity. 6 years of negotiations, compromises, and diplomatic smiles, all while watching humanity's concerns be systematically dismissed or overruled. New Terraform wasn't the first slight, but it would be the last. "Speaker Zoreth," she said, her voice cutting through the chamber, "if the consortium proceeds with Protocol 17 against New Terraform, Earth will withdraw from the Galactic Consortium, effective immediately." The chamber erupted in sound. Some representatives shouted in their native languages, others demanded order. Zoreth struck the resonating crystal beside the podium, sending a wave of silence across the room. "You cannot withdraw," said Vex Moore, the ancient Dralid representative. "No species has ever left the consortium." "Because none have ever tried," Maya replied. "We've searched your charter thoroughly. There is no provision preventing withdrawal." "This is emotional human recklessness," hissed Katal, the Saurian delegate. "You would sacrifice thousands of years of technological sharing over one colony." Maya stepped forward, addressing the entire chamber. "This isn't about one colony. This is about 6 years of having humanity's voice ignored. This is about our proposals for aid to developing worlds being dismissed 47 times. This is about trade agreements that consistently favor the founding species. We joined as equals, but we've been treated as children." "You are children," rumbled Vex Moore. "Humanity has barely left its cradle. You've been spacefaring for less than 5 centuries. And in that time, we've developed technologies some of you still don't understand," Eli interjected, "including the gravity manipulation systems half this chamber uses." Maya held up her hand. We came here in good faith, but we will not stay where 12 million lives are considered an acceptable sacrifice for a threat your scientists won't even share data on. You have 30 days to reconsider, Zorath said, voice colder than before. After that, Protocol 17 proceeds as planned. Then you have 30 days to prepare for humanity's departure, Maya replied, turning to leave. And everything that comes with it. Back aboard the Earth diplomatic vessel Harmony, Maya called an emergency meeting with her staff. The ship's conference room buzzed with tension as 20 human representatives from various departments gathered. Is this really happening? Asked Dr. Imani West, head of scientific exchange. We're actually leaving the consortium. That depends on Earth's leadership, Maya replied. But I'm recommending it in the strongest possible terms. Their quantum communicator chimed, indicating a priority message from Earth. The holographic display flickered to life, showing Secretary General Elena Vasquez, her expression grave. I've received your preliminary report, Captain Chen, Vasquez said. An emergency global summit has been called. The representatives of all 194 nations and 27 colony worlds will convene in Geneva in 3 days. Madam Secretary, the consortium is giving us 30 days, Maya said. But I believe their minds are made up about new terraform. Vasquez nodded slowly. Then we need to decide if ours are as well. The Geneva Summit was the largest gathering of human leadership in history. The United Earth Assembly Hall was filled to capacity, with colony representatives joining via secure quantum link. Maya stood at the central podium, finishing her presentation. In summary, the Galactic Consortium has voted to implement Protocol 17 on new terraform, despite our scientific evidence that the radiation anomaly poses no significant threat. They've given us 30 days to evacuate as many colonists as possible, but with our current transport capacity, we could only save perhaps 2 million of the 12 million residents. Secretary General Vasquez took the podium. The question before this body is whether Earth should withdraw from the Galactic Consortium, ending 78 years of membership. This is not a decision to be taken lightly. The debate raged for hours. Some nations argued for continued diplomacy, suggesting concessions to appease the consortium. Others pointed out the technological and trade benefits of membership. But as the day wore on, a different sentiment began to emerge. We've compiled a report on all human proposals and initiatives within the consortium over the past decade, said the representative from Nigeria. Of 214 proposals, only 9 were approved without substantial modification, and most of those 9 were minor procedural matters. The quantum drive sharing initiative that could have helped developing worlds achieve parity was blocked 3 times, added the Brazilian delegate. Meanwhile, 6 of the founding species have established monopolies on essential resources in 30 sectors. As night fell in Geneva, Secretary General Vasquez called for the vote. Maya watched from the side of the stage, heart pounding as the results appeared on the massive display. Withdraw from the Galactic Consortium, 89%. Remain in the Galactic Consortium, 11%. The decision is made, Vasquez announced. Earth will withdraw from the Galactic Consortium, effective immediately. Operation Independence begins now. Within hours, the gears of human governance shifted to crisis mode. Every space-capable vessel was mobilized for the evacuation of new terraform. Military ships that had been on routine patrol were recalled to key positions around human-controlled space. And most importantly, the Prometheus Protocol. A contingency plan developed in secret over the past 20 years was activated. You knew this day might come, Maya said to Vasquez as they walked through the underground complex beneath Geneva, where the Independence operation was being coordinated. We hoped it wouldn't, Vasquez replied. But we've seen the pattern for decades. The consortium tolerates us as long as we provide innovation without challenging their authority. They entered a secure chamber where Admiral Wei Liang, head of Earth's defense forces, was directing operations via holographic displays. Evacuation of new terraform is proceeding, he reported. We've diverted 312 vessels and should have approximately 65% of the population relocated within the 30-day window. Not good enough, Vasquez said. We need them all. We're bringing experimental megahaulers online, White replied. But the consortium is already moving. They've established checkpoints at 3 major transit hubs that connect to human space. Maya studied the strategic display. They're preparing to isolate us. Let them try, Wei said with a grim smile. Phase 1 of Prometheus is already complete. For the past 15 years, we've been establishing secondary supply chains and resource reserves outside consortium-controlled space. We can operate independently for at least a decade. Maya felt a chill. You really did plan for everything. Not everything, Vasquez admitted, but enough. The Artemis shipyards in the asteroid belt have been producing vessels with capabilities we haven't shared with the consortium, and our research stations on Europa and Titan have developed technologies we've kept proprietary. What about the other species? Maya asked. Some have been our allies. We're already in discreet communication with 7 non-founding species who have expressed sympathy with our position, Vasquez said. The consortium isn't universally loved, Captain Chen. We may find we have more friends than we thought. 2 days later, the first diplomatic crisis of the withdrawal erupted when a consortium enforcement vessel attempted to board a human transport carrying new terraform evacuees. The transport's captain refused access, citing Earth's withdrawal from consortium jurisdiction. This is unprecedented, Admiral Wei told the Emergency Council as they reviewed the standoff. The HFY enforcement ship is demanding compliance with consortium transit protocols. Remind them that we've withdrawn and are no longer subject to their jurisdiction, Vasquez ordered. They're threatening to disable the transport if it doesn't comply within 1 hour. Wei replied grimly. Maya stepped forward. Permission to take the Harmony to the location, Madam Secretary. This is a diplomatic situation, first and foremost. Vasquez nodded. Granted. But take a defensive escort. The days of assuming good faith from the consortium are over. 6 hours later, the Harmony dropped out of FTL at the coordinates of the standoff, flanked by 3 Aurora-class defensive cruisers, ships whose capabilities have been carefully understated in consortium registries. The HFY ship is hailing us, Eli reported from the communication station. On screen, Maya ordered. The stern face of an HFY enforcer appeared, his blue-scaled features set in what Maya recognized as an expression of contempt. This is Enforcer Krell. Your transport vessel is in violation of consortium regulations. Remove your military ships immediately. Maya kept her expression neutral. Enforcer Krell, this is Captain Maya Chen of Earth. As you have been informed, Earth has withdrawn from the consortium. That transport carries civilians evacuating from new terraform, as required by your own Protocol 17. They will not be boarded. Withdrawal is not recognized by consortium law, Krell replied. These are still consortium spaces. Actually, Maya said, according to the original Spatial Navigation Treaty of 2179, this transit corridor was established as a neutral zone. Your jurisdiction here was only through Earth's consent to consortium membership, which has been withdrawn. She could see the enforcer's agitation in the subtle movement of his facial ridges. This matter will be escalated to the Enforcement Council, he warned. Escalate all you want, Maya replied calmly. But that transport will continue to its destination without interference. If you attempt to disable or board it, we will consider it an act of aggression against Earth citizens. The standoff lasted another tense hour before the HFY vessel finally moved aside, allowing the transport to continue its journey. They blinked, Eli said quietly as the HFY ship moved away. This time, Maya replied, but this is just the beginning. The consortium won't let us go without a fight. As the Harmony returned to Earth, Maya looked out at the stars once more. For 78 years, humanity had tried to be a good member of the galactic community. Now they would forge their own path among those same stars, for better or worse. What she didn't know was that the true test of humanity's resolve was yet to come. Part 2. A New Path Forward. 3 months after Earth's withdrawal from the Galactic Consortium, Maya Chen sat in the newly established Independent Earth Command Center beneath the Olympus Mons colony on Mars. The massive underground facility had been constructed in secret over the past decade, one of many contingencies in the Prometheus Protocol. The evacuation of New Terraform is complete, Admiral Wei announced to the assembled Leadership Council. 12 million colonists relocated to 7 different worlds in human-controlled space. Secretary General Vasquez nodded with satisfaction. And the consortium. They've established a quarantine perimeter around what they're calling former human space, Wei replied, activating a holographic display of nearby star systems. Red boundary lines encircled the 27 systems directly controlled by Earth. They're trying to isolate us, Maya observed, cutting off our access to traditional trade routes and resource zones. As expected, Wei said, but they've underestimated our preparation. Phase 2 of Prometheus has been accelerated. Our deep space exploratory vessels have already mapped 17 viable systems beyond the quarantine perimeter. Dr. Sanjay Kapoor, Earth's leading xenanthropologist, leaned forward. What's more concerning is the propaganda. The consortium is portraying us as dangerous rebels who might destabilize the galactic order. They're particularly focused on our continued development of technologies they consider regulated, such as, Vasquez asked, quantum phase shields, gravity manipulation beyond sanctioned levels, and our new FTL drive systems, Kapoor replied. They're painting us as irresponsible children playing with dangerous toys. Maya felt a surge of frustration. Meanwhile, they're proceeding with Protocol 17 on New Terraform next week, despite our evidence that the radiation anomaly is already dissipating, exactly as we predicted. The command center's alert system suddenly pulsed red. A communications officer spoke urgently into her headset before turning to the council. Admiral, we're receiving multiple distress signals from Proxima Centauri. Consortium enforcement vessels have entered the system and are demanding the surrender of our research outpost. Wei's expression hardened. On what grounds? They claim the outpost houses prohibited technology development and poses a risk to neighboring systems. That's our primary quantum research facility, Dr. Kapoor said, alarmed. They can't possibly know what we're developing there. Unless they have sources we haven't identified, Maya suggested. How many ships? Initial reports indicate 6 enforcement vessels, including 2 Dralid heavy cruisers. Wei turned to Vasquez. Madam Secretary, I request permission to deploy the Sentinel fleet to Proxima Centauri. Vasquez's face was grave. This would be our first direct military confrontation with the consortium. They've already initiated it by entering human space with military vessels, Wei countered. If we don't respond, they'll interpret it as weakness. After a moment's consideration, Vasquez nodded. Deploy the fleet, but with defensive protocols only. We will protect our territory, but we won't fire first. Maya stood. I should be there. This is still a diplomatic situation at its core. Agreed, Vasquez said. Captain Chen, you'll accompany Admiral Wei as our diplomatic representative. Your authority is second only to mine in any negotiations. 12 hours later, Maya stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, the flagship of humanity's Sentinel fleet. Through the view screen, she could see the swirling red dwarf star of Proxima Centauri, and in the foreground, the standoff already in progress. 6 consortium vessels had surrounded the orbital research station, while 3 human defense ships maintained position nearby. Entering the system now, reported the navigation officer. Consortium vessels are tracking us. Admiral Wei nodded. Tactical, full defensive posture. Shields at maximum, but weapon systems in standby only. They're hailing us, the communications officer announced. On screen, Wei ordered. The screen flickered to show a Viridian officer, her iridescent skin shimmering with what Maya recognized as agitation patterns. "This is Commander Thala of the Consortium Enforcement Division. Your vessels are to withdraw immediately. This research station is in violation of Consortium safety protocols." Maya stepped forward. "Commander Thala, I am Captain Maya Chen, diplomatic representative of Earth. The Proxima Centauri system is sovereign human territory. Your vessels have entered our space without permission, which constitutes a violation of interstellar law." "Earth has no sovereign territory," Thala replied coldly. "All your claims were established under Consortium authority, which you have rejected. This station will be inspected, and if necessary, decommissioned." Admiral Wade joined Maya. "Commander, let me be clear. Any attempt to board or decommission our research station will be met with immediate defensive action. We have evacuated non-essential personnel, but the remaining staff are under our protection." Thala's skin flickered with patterns Maya couldn't interpret. "You have 1 hour to reconsider your position. After that, we will proceed as authorized by the Enforcement Council." As the communication ended, Wei turned to his tactical officer. "Status of the Phantom units. All 6 are in position and undetected, Admiral." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Phantom units." "We led her to a private tactical display, something the Consortium doesn't know we have. Stealth vessels with advanced ECM systems that mask their presence. They're already positioned behind each of the Consortium ships." "You're planning for a fight," Maya observed. "I'm planning to win one if it comes," Wei corrected. "But I still hope it doesn't come to that." The hour passed quickly as both sides maintained their positions. When Commander Thala hailed again, her skin was pulsing with what appeared to be confidence. "Your time has expired. We will now proceed with inspection of the research facility." 2 of the Consortium vessels broke formation, moving toward the station. "Final warning, Commander," Wei said firmly. "Reverse course immediately." Thala merely closed the communication channel. The Consortium ships continued their approach. "Activate Phantom units," Wei ordered quietly. On the tactical display, Maya watched as 6 previously invisible human vessels suddenly powered up directly behind each Consortium ship. Before the alien vessels could react, the Phantoms fired specialized electromagnetic pulses that temporarily disabled their propulsion and weapon systems. "All Consortium vessels have been neutralized," reported the tactical officer. "Minimal damage, but they're effectively immobilized." Wei reopened the channel to Commander Thala, whose skin now displayed patterns of alarm and confusion. "Commander, as you can see, we have the capability to disable your fleet without destroying it. Consider this a demonstration of restraint. You have 2 options: withdraw from human space immediately once your systems reset, or face more permanent consequences." There was a long pause before Thala responded, her voice tight. "This action will be reported to the Enforcement Council. The consequences. The consequences of entering sovereign territory with military vessels are well established in galactic law." Maya interrupted. "We are defending our borders, nothing more." After a tense standoff, the Consortium vessels retreated once their systems came back online. As they left the system, Maya felt no triumph, only concern for what would come next. "They'll be back," she said to Wei. "And in greater numbers." "Yes," he agreed. "But now they know we're not defenseless. That changes the equation." 2 weeks later, as Earth continued strengthening its defenses and expanding into uncharted space, Maya received an unusual encrypted communication. The source was untraceable, but claimed to be from a representative of the Helia species. "The Hellions?" Maya asked Dr. Kapoor during an emergency briefing. "They're a Consortium protectorate, aren't they?" "Yes," Kapoor confirmed. "A relatively young spacefaring species, only brought into the Consortium about a century ago. Their homeworld, Helia 7, is rich in rare minerals." According to this message, Maya said, the Consortium is planning to relocate their entire population to a more suitable world because of environmental concerns. Does that sound familiar? Vasquez frowned. It's the same justification they used for new terraform. Are they actually in danger? The message includes scientific data, Maya said, transferring it to the main display. According to this, there's no environmental threat whatsoever. But there is a newly discovered vein of quantum-stabilizing crystals beneath their largest population center. Those crystals are essential for advanced FTL drive systems. Wei noted. The consortium must want unhindered access to mine them. Maya scrolled through the message. The Helians are asking for our help. They say they were inspired by Earth's defiance and don't want to be relocated. This could be a trap, Wei cautioned, luring us outside our defensive perimeter. Or it could be exactly what it appears to be, Kapoor countered. A species reaching out to us because they've seen we're willing to stand against consortium overreach. Vasquez considered the options. Verify the data independently. If it checks out, we'll consider a response. 3 days later, Earth's long-range sensors confirmed unusual consortium fleet movements near Helios 7. The scientific data also proved legitimate. There was no environmental threat to the planet. They're going to force the relocation, Maya said during the follow-up council meeting. Just like they plan to sterilize New Terraform despite our evidence. The difference is that New Terraform was a human colony, Wei pointed out. Helios 7 is well beyond our defensive perimeter, deep in consortium space. If we do nothing, 8 billion Helians will lose their homeworld, Maya argued. This is exactly the kind of injustice we left the consortium to fight against. The debate continued for hours until Secretary General Vasquez finally raised her hand for silence. Captain Chen is right. If we ignore this plea for help, we're no better than the consortium. But Admiral Wei is also right. We can't risk our entire fleet. Therefore, I'm authorizing a special operation. Captain Chen, you'll lead a diplomatic mission to Helios 7, accompanied by a small contingent of our most advanced ships using the new stealth technology. The mission to Helios 7 was classified at the highest level. Maya commanded the stealth vessel Shadow Rift with a small fleet of 5 similarly equipped ships. They traveled through uncharted routes, avoiding consortium detection systems. When they arrived at Helios 7, they found a situation even worse than expected. Consortium ships had already begun the forced evacuation, with thousands of Helians being loaded onto massive transport vessels. They're separating families, reported Lieutenant Park, monitoring communications from the surface, and they're only taking those they deem useful. The elderly and those with certain genetic variations are being left behind. Maya felt cold fury building inside her. Open a secure channel to the Helian resistance contact. A moment later, the worried face of a Helian appeared on screen. The species had luminous skin that seemed to flow with patterns of light, currently displaying what Maya interpreted as distress. I am Thielen, spokesperson for the true voice of Helios. The alien said. You came. We had almost lost hope. We're here, Thielen, Maya assured him. But our options are limited. The consortium forces outnumber us significantly. Numbers aren't everything, Thielen replied. We have prepared as you suggested. Our people are ready to resist, but we need your help to coordinate and to secure safe passage for those who choose to leave. Maya conferred with her tactical team, developing a daring plan that relied on precision rather than overwhelming force. Using the advanced stealth technology of her ships, they established a hidden evacuation corridor, while simultaneously deploying electronic countermeasures that disrupted consortium communications. Over the next 3 days, as consortium forces struggled to maintain control, nearly 2 billion Helians who chose to leave were secretly evacuated through the corridor. The rest, armed with knowledge and supplies provided by Earth, went underground to continue resistance against the forced relocation. When a consortium commander finally detected unusual activity and ordered a sector-wide scan, Maya's ships were already escorting the Helian refugee fleet toward human space. The escape did not go unnoticed. The consortium pursuit fleet caught up with them at the edge of charted space, forcing a confrontation. They're demanding we surrender the Helian vessels, reported the communications officer. Maya stood firm. Defense at Formation Alpha. All ships prepare quantum phase shields. The technology, developed in secret by human scientists, had never been deployed in actual combat. When the consortium ships opened fire, expecting to quickly disable the outnumbered human vessels, their energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against the shimmering quantum barriers. "Return fire," Maya ordered. "Target propulsion systems only." The battle was brief but decisive. The human ships, using weapons technologies the consortium had underestimated, disabled the pursuing vessels without destroying them. As the disabled ships drifted, Maya opened a channel to the consortium commander. "Your vessels will regain emergency power in approximately 6 hours," she informed him. "That should give you sufficient time to contemplate the consequences of attacking ships under human protection. The Hylians have requested asylum, which Earth has granted." When the combined fleet reached human space a week later, they were greeted as heroes. The successful rescue of the Hylians sent shockwaves through the consortium and beyond. Within days, representatives from 7 other species made discreet contact with Earth, expressing interest in what was being called the human alternative. 6 months after Earth's withdrawal from the consortium, a historic gathering took place on the neutral moon of Europa. Representatives from 12 species, some who had left the consortium, others who had never joined, met with Earth's leadership to form a new interstellar organization. "We propose a fundamentally different approach," Maya said, addressing the diverse gathering. "The alliance of free worlds will be based on principles of sovereignty, mutual respect, and genuine cooperation. No species will have authority over another. Decisions affecting multiple worlds will require genuine consensus, not merely the approval of the most powerful members." The charter of the alliance was signed that day, marking the beginning of a new era in galactic politics. As Maya watched the representatives formalize the agreement, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Was it worth it? Eli asked quietly beside her. Maya looked around at the gathering. At the Hylians who still had a culture and a future because of Earth's intervention, at the representatives of species who had found their voice at last, at the human delegates who stood tall with newfound confidence. "We lost the comforts of the established order," she replied. "But we gained something far more valuable, the freedom to chart our own course among the stars."